it's extraordinary the spirit he has. You have to say that, right? The character he's shown all season.
Yeah, you do admire him, but like he seems really upbeat there, saying it's a big win. But again, you're not gauged at Man United when you beat Newcastle at home. It's about competing in the big games, and again, you're not going to win every week or win championships every year, but you hope that you're up there competing. And Man United have been nowhere near it. But he is trying to be positive, and I like that. He's talking about the young players, but you got to get the mix right. The experienced players haven't done enough. There's been too many injuries, and I do appreciate where he's coming from. Defensively, the injuries have been, has been huge. It's been a huge setback. But overall, you still digest all that. But still, you look at it, the record, the amount of games they've lost, the goals they've conceded, the lack of goals they've scored, the position in the league, the -3 goals or -2 or 3 goals. All these things are not good to look at. But you hope he's given out a chance in the summer. And what they need to do is, again, we go back to it, that recruitment. They have to go out and buy some. We were talking here, maybe 4 or 5 world-class players, a couple of centre-halves, a couple of strikers, someone in midfield. You know, it's a long way back for this club.
But before we come to the shopping list, it seems every day. Let's have a look then at the current squad and talk about which players of this group are there to be relied upon. I mean, he started the list for us with the young players he mentioned. You can see on asterisks those who are out of contract.
But that helps, doesn't it? It helps there's a few players that are out of contract.
Yeah. Who are you building around, Wayne?
You have to build it around Bruno. I think you have to build the team around Bruno. He's the one player with quality. He has got fight in him. I think the young players, and then I think all the other players get rid of him.
Sorry?
I think you keep the young players, you keep Bruno, and I think it has to be a massive clear-out. It has to be.
Right.
It's not going to be in one year, but I think it's going to be over the next couple of years.
Well, let's just go through it block by block then. So, are you keeping the goalkeeper, Onana? Good enough for United?
I think he's got better. I think he had a shaky start to the season, but I think he has got better.
Defenders, Lisandro Martinez, Luke Shaw, Harry Maguire?
No, for me, Dallow's done well. Harry Maguire's had an in and out season. But to compete, they need better players to compete at this league. And don't get me wrong, these players are good players and good, Premier League players. But to compete with Man City, with Liverpool, with Arsenal, they need better players.
What about in the forwards, Marcus Rashford?
Well, we all know Marcus has got the ability, the capabilities to play at the top level. And we haven't seen it. I just wondered, is it time for Marcus for himself to go and play elsewhere? I don't know. I think he has to ask himself that question. And I want him to stay. I want him to, break records at this club. But he needs to get his head right and get his head down, work hard and get back to the player we know he can be.
Right. Does anyone disagree with what Wayne said there? Keep the young players, keep Bruno, and pretty much clear the decks for everybody else.
Has always been built around the young players, coming through the academy. And if they continue to do what they're doing, they should be playing. It's as simple as that. Transition, we've been in transition for a very, very long time. And at some stage, we're going to have to stop using that word transition because we can't be transitioning for 10 years.
Yeah, but he finished third last year.
Yeah.
And
there you go.
The 8th in the league, so the transition's going backwards.
Yeah.
And we talk about moving players on, but it'll be very hard to move a lot of them players on. It's okay, obviously, lads are out of contract, but there's players here on huge money, and some of them won't be going anywhere. They won't be budging unless they get proper, obviously, paid off. So we talk about recruitment, but getting rid of players, and a lot of the players have been given a lot of opportunities. And there's also worry that these players are constantly injured. If you're constantly injured, you're no good to anybody. Okay, you can listen. Every club will have a few injuries, but there's certain players in that group there. You're going, they're always injured. You can't rely on these players to turn up week in, week out and play for Man United.
It's like Martial, for instance. I play with him. He's a really nice guy, and where's he been? I can't remember the last time I've seen him play. Like, what's up with him? What's
at
his injury,
at least his contract's up, isn't it? So, no, it is. At least that's a plus. You go, listen, off you go. But again, it won't be easy, and it's well and good us sitting around here going, he needs to go. But the reality is, it's going to be really, really tough.
Patrick asked the question, didn't he, to Eric Ten Hag about if you're here, Does that have to be a question right now? Is that a doubt, Wayne?
I think, of course, that's a question for the owners who are at the club now. And
Will the question in their mind be, can somebody else get more out of this group of players?
yeah, I'm sure it will,
help us
and they'll be
perhaps
looking
transition quicker.
But they'll be looking how they're going to build, how they're going to rebuild. Ultimately, the mess the club's in at the minute, on the pitch, off the pitch, and who's the right man to move the club forward? Is that Erik ten Hag, or is it someone else coming in? And I do feel sorry for the manager at the minute, because as we've seen the problems he's got, but I'm sure these new owners are doing all the homework to see if there's anyone else to come in, or whether they keep Erik.
Yeah, for me personally, the gap won't be closed within the next couple of years. You know, and it's that simple. You've got to be very honest. If you look at the gap between Manchester United now and Manchester City, that tells you everything. You've got to close that gap. So there's no way you're going to close that gap within 2 years, and then Manchester City, they're going to come close to Manchester United, because they're going to look to kick on again next season. You know, so that's going to take time. I mean, that's a building process. That could be 4 or 5 years.
Well, you look at Man City, when their new owners come in,
Yeah.
it took them 15 years to win the Champions League.
Yeah, well, there you
So
go.
that's potentially what you might be looking at. You hope not, but
Could happen a lot quicker. Get Wayne Rooney
hope
in as
so.
director of football. Swing the axe.